Hello, friends. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy it. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for the patronage. I really do appreciate it. Today, I'm going to be talking about an interesting topic, at least to me, on the topic of Satan. And there's a Jewish Satan and a Christian Satan. And never the two should meet. But for real, the Jewish Satan is very, very different than what Christians have made out Satan to be. So I hope you enjoy this topic because it's interesting to me. Let's go. In mainstream Judaism, Satan never appears the way modern-day Christendom portrays him. He does not lead an evil empire or an army of evil spirits who wage war against God and humans alike. In fact, the first time he appears in the Hebrew Bible, the storyteller does not portray him as necessarily evil. In Numbers and Job, he appears as the servant of God, an angel or a messenger. The Hebrew term Satan depicts an adversarial role and is not a proper name. When Hebrew storytellers occasionally used the Satan, they meant any angel sent by God to block specific activity. Thus, in a story, the Satan's presence might explain obstacles or misfortunes. Even though the storytellers often attributed misfortunes to sin, they would sometimes use the Satan to block human plans by God's own order or permission. In Numbers 22, 23 through 33, we find the story of Balaam, who was going to a place God told him not to go. The Hebrew word used for the angel that stood in his way is the Satan. We find a more familiar story of the Satan in Job. In this story, God even admits that the Satan provokes him to act against Job. The Satan in this story is not who the Christians think he is. The Bible itself says that this Satan was a son of God. After Cyrus of Persia conquered Babylon, he allowed the Jewish exiles to return to their homeland. They expected to establish themselves as ruler over people who had been left in their homeland. These people saw the former exiles as agents of the Persian king. Thus, the line that had once separated Israel from its enemies now divided two groups within Israel: the returned exiles and those who had never left. Zechariah takes the side of the exiles. In Zechariah 3, 1 through 2, the prophet identifies the rural inhabitants of Israel as the Satan. This story marks the point in time when the Satan begins to take on the role of God's opponent. The friction between these two groups of Jews came to a head in 168 BCE when the Syrian king Antiochus Epiphanes sought to erase every trace of Jewish cultures. Many Jews of the upper class wanted to assimilate into Greek culture for the advantages it would bring. However, most other Jews saw these Hellenizing Jews as traitors This effort to extinguish Jewish culture led to a revolt that the Jewish rebels won. 2 generations after the Jews won the right to rule themselves, the Hasmoneans, who had wrested control 10 to 20 years after the revolt, were confronted by the Pharisees and other groups who felt that their rule had become too secular. These dissident groups started characterizing their opposition as the Satan. The Satan, who started out being portrayed as one of God's faithful servants, becomes what he is for Christianity, not only in the early days, but also today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you would like to know when I come out with new material, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal link are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. If you wish to support this channel, you may do so at my PayPal link. Question everything and never be afraid. Here are some videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Please leave comments in the comment section. I love hearing from you. Until next time, friends, goodbye.